a student who takes an online class from me, then this is what you see when you log into your class in WYO courses. One of the first things you'll do every week is to head over to the modules. As you can see, I have a pretty systematic approach every week. There's an overview, there's activities, a discussion, perhaps information about an upcoming assignment, and then an open topic where you can discuss what it is that catches your interest during the week. So let's see what a weekly overview looks like.
Welcome to the Itec 5320 Week 5 overview. This overview has been divided into 3 sections: a wrap-up of last week's discussion, an introduction to this week's topic, and a listing of this week's expectations. Please use the links on screen to navigate to the section of the overview you wish to access.
Now let's imagine that I'm the busy graduate student. I work a full-time job, I have a family, I volunteer in my community. I don't have time to sit down and watch a 12-minute video. But as a student who is conscientious and wants to take care of my courses in a timely fashion, this overview gives me the ability to access these components when I need them and how I need them. So let's say that I am curious about last week's discussion. All I have to do is click on the link for the wrap-up.
Now, in last week's discussion, we were focusing on layout sins, or the common design mistakes that we...
As you can see, this video is only 3 minutes long. As a busy professional, I can probably give up 3 minutes of my life to take a look at last week's discussion. Later in my day, I can go back and take a look at the other sections. I'm still that busy professional, and it's been a rough week. When Dr. D posted the overview on Monday, I was able to take a look at last week's discussion. But now it's already Thursday, and I haven't even had time to look at this week's topic. But, never fear, I can come back to the overview and just click on the link I need to get to this topic.
This week we're talking about visual communication. Specifically, we're digging into Chapter 5 of White Space is Not Your Enemy.
Again, the video clip is only 4 minutes long. If I weren't that busy, perhaps I could have watched this on Monday or Tuesday. But here's my weekly introduction to the topic that I'm going to be covering. It's an advanced organizer to keep me on track and on pace in my class. Perhaps the most important aspect to this overview setup is the weekly expectations. It's not always enough just to be able to list out what's expected of me in the syllabus. Like I said, I'm that busy professional. I work a full-time job. I'm taking 2 or 3 classes online for a program. And now I need to figure out, what do I need to do this week? How can I keep myself organized and on track? Well, that's what the final video is for.
So it is week 5, and on screen you have your expectations for this week.
This list comes in handy, and so many students have been appreciative of it. They don't have to dig through the course. They don't have to dig through the modules. Here it is in one slide, a list of what I'm doing this week. And as a student, I appreciate it when my faculty member can go into detailed descriptions. You can see on screen that number 5 says logo critique. As the builder of this video, while that's just a line item on the screen, I can take a moment to fully explain to my students what I'm expecting from them in this assignment. Beyond that, though, this is an online class. I don't have the benefit of seeing my students on a regular basis. In fact, I may never see my students. So I feel that this is an important way for me to connect with them and let them know that yes, I expect this of you, but here's my voice at the same time. I can convey emotion in my voice and emphasize what's important and what they really need to pay attention to. I want to take a moment here to explain that while you are looking at the Finder view in Mac, this software, Camtasia, is available for PC. It's just a matter of the interface looking slightly different, and of course your folder looking different because you would be working in Explorer. So, how do I make this happen every week? Well, in my initial setup, I created my 4 videos. The A video is the wrap-up of last week's discussion. The B video is the introduction to this week's topic. The C video is the listing of expectations for the week. The video that is just the week name is that overview. It just has the screen captures from each of the other 3 videos to provide the navigation in YouTube that we'll take a look at here in a little bit. And when I say screen captures, I just mean individual slides from PowerPoint that I've used to create these screens. So here's what it looks like in Camtasia after I've built out one of these overviews. This is the first video in the series, just the weekly overview with no A, B, or C. As you can see, on the panel, I have audio files and I have images. Down here in my timeline, you can see that I've lined up that first slide, just the overview, and again, it's just a PowerPoint file. I've saved it out as images. I've added some music at the beginning to make it a little upbeat and interesting. And then I can transition and show the content to give that introduction. If you remember back to the video we saw, at the beginning there was a welcome message, and it specifically stated what week that we were in. All I have to do is re-record just that section every Monday, and it's roughly 2 seconds, perhaps 5. The rest of the audio I created the first time, and I can reuse over and over. I'll show you how I make that happen. This is what a weekly overview looks like in PowerPoint. I've taken one of my general overviews and created just a sample. So the first slide is the week, the number of the week. Is this the 2nd, 3rd, or 15th week of the semester? And just overview. I do label by semester so that if students find my videos on YouTube, they know if they're watching the right one. The second slide is where we talk about last week's discussion. I keep it branded based on the course because I do teach more than one course. I'll probably have some sort of image on screen to illustrate the point. Maybe I'll actually do a quick screen capture and show some resource related to this. At the bottom of the slide, I include the major points that were taken from the previous week's discussion. This is where I sit down and I spend about 30 minutes to an hour reading and rereading the comments that students have posted. I make a running list of the comments that come up most often. At the same time, I'm responding and replying to their statements in the discussion. Maybe I need to clarify, maybe I need to redirect. Maybe somebody said something that sparked a resource. For example, last week, I had a student who talked about seeing faces in an infographic even though it was just lines on the paper. And I remembered an article from last year that talked about research on why some people see faces in inanimate objects. So I posted a link to that article for him to read. This is also the time for me to remind students that they can't just forget about the last week's discussion because that week is ended. Sometimes students come in late Sunday night or Monday morning to reply. And if you're an early riser or you finished your discussion early in the week, then I want to make sure that you come back and see those comments and keep engaging in that dialogue. On the third slide, this is where I introduce the next week's topic. Again, some sort of image or even a video to illustrate the topic. I put the title of that week's topic at the bottom of the screen, and you want to summarize in just a few short words, phrases even. What do students need to know about this topic? Why do they need to know it? And how are they going to apply it? That is so key, because if students don't see the application, it's not going to really be meaningful. The last slide is, of course, the expectations. On the right, I make sure that I put the week number that we're in, and then I have a standard list of around 5 bullets. They're making sure that they watch this week's overview. I detail whatever the reading assignment is. Perhaps it's a research article or a few different articles. Maybe it's a chapter in a textbook or some other online resource. What activities are they doing for the week? Do I have them watching videos from Edutopia? Do I want them to go check out something related to this work? Maybe it's a really cool video that details recent research in the field. The discussion topic is number 4. I give them that prompt and what they're going to be doing. And then last but not least, is there an assignment coming up that's due, and what date is it due? This is where I take the time to explain and remind them to go look at the rubric for the assignment in WYO courses. Now I'm ready to save this out as pictures to pull into Camtasia and build out or update to create a new week's videos. As you can see, all I have to do is go to File, Save as Pictures. Then I get the dialog box. I typically save my images on my desktop to make it easy for me to access those pictures and just update files from previous videos to make my creation super simple. And here they are, all 4 slides as JPEGs, sitting on my desktop and ready for me to use when I'm updating my next video in Camtasia. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So here I am in Camtasia. I'm looking at my week 12 overview that I created earlier this week. So let's pretend that I need to update this for week 13. All I have to do is go to each slide in my media files, right-click, update file. Go to my desktop where I saved my updated PowerPoint, click on slide 1, and select. There it is, right on screen, already updated. All I have to do now is repeat those steps for the other images that are in my video. And just like that, everywhere that those images appear on my timeline, the image is already updated. When I want to update any of the audio in this first video, I can just click down here, delete what I had for the previous week, and then record new audio that I can insert or even video if I so choose. How does this look for one of the other videos? Well, let's take a look at that. Here we are in the week 12 wrap-up of the previous week's discussion. So let's take a look at how I will update this presentation for week 13 using those sample slides. Now I just delete the previous week's audio. And now I'm ready to record my audio to go with the wrap-up of the discussion. When I get done, I go to the end of the video, update the navigation links that I've built in and designed for the annotation tool in YouTube so that I'm pointing to the week 13 topic and expectations, and now I'm ready to share and export this video so that I can upload it and use YouTube to put it all together. Here we are on the YouTube website. We're ready to make this perfect for our students. So I make sure I'm signed in, I go to upload. On the resulting screen, I just come over to the select files to upload area, grab my videos, I can get all 4 at once, and that process begins. I recommend you do this from campus or a fast connection so that you're not waiting all day for those files to upload. Give it a title. So this video was the wrap-up of the previous week's discussion. I try to keep my titles the same. If I need to, I can always go to my video manager under the Creator Studio and copy and paste the previous week's content titles and information and just update it as I need. Give it a description if I so choose. This is also a great place to put that Creative Commons attribution when you're using Creative Commons licensed materials. In my case, the audio I use is licensed through Creative Commons. I use ccmixter.org to find those files and then make sure I give attribution in the description. I give it tags. UWYO and YOITech are my standard tags. Why do I do that? It's a great marketing way for your programs. You might have prospective students browsing social media, finding your channel, and taking a look at the classes you offer and the type of content you cover. Can't stress enough how important that is. I make my videos all public. If I want to push these out on social media, I can, and I always add them to a playlist. In this case, it's the Itec 5320 playlist. Everything's already uploaded. It's in the processing phase. When I'm ready, I hit Publish All. Then we head over to the Creator Studio so that we can add those annotations and build in those links. So let's take a look at that. Once my 4 videos are uploaded, I come to my Creator Studio. Over here to my video manager, and now I can edit these videos. So I click the edit button, click on annotations, and then I drag the playhead where I need it to be so that I can add in the links to make navigation easy. I stop it right here, add annotation, I give it a label. The label appears on screen. All I have to do is drag it into place on screen, give it a color. I always choose gold. Gotta go brown and gold, right? Add another annotation. Again, it's a label. I repeat this process for all of the slides on screen to make my navigation easy for students. One more label, and that'll finish us out. The nice thing about this is that I can do it for all of my videos. Make sure the colors are right. So for this one, I click on it, it highlights it on the timeline. Over here, I can say wrap up for the label. Now when I hover, that's what it says. Week 13 topic, right there on screen. Week 13 expectations, right there on screen. I make sure that I click on each annotation label and I drag it out so that it appears on screen for the duration of the video. I need to have a link. So this is where I go back in and I copy and paste the link to the next video. The best way to do that is to have another tab open with all of your videos. I can right click, copy that link address, go back to my edits in the annotation, and then just paste it right into the box. When I'm done, I hit save, apply changes, and now my published video has my navigation links to make it all happen. The last piece of our puzzle is to come to the main video page for that full overview, the one that has the links to the others. I don't have to play it, I just have to come down here to share, click on embed, grab that code, and paste it right into the box in WIO courses. Now my students have an easy to access weekly video that breaks it up into segments and gives them control over how they access the course and when they get it all done.